Hey guys, it's Austin and Duke, my dog. You may see him wander into the video again. It's early February and it finally stopped raining. In January, the news reporter said we got something like rain at least once every 12 hours, so I'm definitely not minding the break. In fact, yesterday I was making a video. We caught a small break in rain, but it started raining again, so I had to scrap that, and this is take 2. But if you've been following my threads, either on My Tractor Forum or Garden Tractor Talk, you'll be pretty much up to date, but thought I would make a video of some of the updates that I've done, just to go along with that. So the first thing you probably notice are the custom wheels that are on it. And if you've seen my former machine, the 1886, these ones were on that. And I saved them and thought it would be kind of fun to see how they looked on an HDT 1000. So first off, some details on those. These are a total bolt-on, bolt-off affair. So no harm, no foul, nothing done, modification-wise to the hubs to get these to fit. Custom wheel adapter spacers were made. I had made by Motorsport Tech in Las Vegas, and they just bolt right up to the factory hubs. I didn't have to drill out any holes or cut anything, so no modification there. And I absolutely realized, a lot of people probably hate the look of these. They're definitely not for everyone, that's for sure. So totally understand that, totally get that. This was just something that I had dreamed of for a long time, and a few years ago decided to do it. So again, that's why they're on. Just wanted to see how they look on this machine, and I'll go over some details on that. What do you think, Duke? So the front rims are 10 by 6, and the tires are 22 by 9.5 Carlisle all-terrain tires. The rear rims are 15 by 8, and the tires are 29 by 12.5 Carlisle True Powers. And you may notice the 8 lug. One of my other hobbies is diesel trucks, so I decided to kind of combine that aspect into this. I figured since I'm already having custom wheel adapters, look at this. Duke, you're in the shot. Since I was already having custom wheel adapters made, I figured why not just go ahead and do something more unique and do the 8 lug at the same time, since I could do it. So that's why I did that. It's just to tie in my 2 hobbies into this. So that's why that is. These are also, the rear tires are filled with bio ballast, so they're heavier. They're actually combined 100 pounds heavier than the turfs and the wheel weights that were on it before. So it is a heavier setup than the previous configuration. And the traction is incomparable compared to the turfs, especially in the mud. These big egg tires really hook up. As you know, compared to a turf tire, there's no comparison in the mud or anything like that. So these perform awesome. Very happy with the performance of these. And they're also powder coated too. That's not paint, the rims. And we'll start off in the back here. When I hooked up the hydraulic top link, one of the quick connects under there, if you can kind of see the shiny parts under there, one of them was leaking, and so Kevin had told me a couple years ago or so that that's a common thing, so I decided just to switch both those out, eliminate the leak and future potential leak on the other one. And so that's a nice upgrade. The old ones are they would stick sometimes, and so these ones work much smoother. That's a nice little upgrade for me, because I take that on and off sometimes, that hydraulic top link, and so that's nice. The rear brakes, one side was working, but the other side wasn't really. They were both out of adjustment. And when I was looking into it, I saw that there were some springs on each side that were kind of jerry-rigged, and you'd have to look on the parts diagram to see what I mean, but the gist of it was those springs were basically trying to compensate for some nuts on threaded rods, one on each side, that were basically rusted and one side was cross-threaded. So you couldn't put any more adjustment on them. So I took the springs off and I got both of, replaced the nut on one side and got the other side working and adjusted them, and now the brakes work equally on both sides and the parking brake works again too, so that's nice. While we're back here, I did replace the tail light with a reproduction from Rick, Bolens man Rick, so I appreciate that. It looks really nice. The original one, it just didn't want to come back to life. I took it apart, put some dielectric grease on it, new bulb, tried cleaning out the socket as best I could, but it still didn't want to come back to life, so I got a new one, and that's why I did that. And Stu's seat, of course. I love that seat, it's awesome. He did the Bolens lettering and everything. So I get a lot of questions about this seat. This one. This seat is a Bolens seat. It's off an earlier model machine, so it's not the factory seat. It did bolt up directly to this machine. I didn't have to widen the holes or anything. It was just a bolt on. I had it on my previous machine, and I had Stu, he goes by 29 Chev on the forums. He does really nice seat work, and so he's basically the only guy that I've ever seen in the garden tractor community that restores these seats, and he does an amazing job. And he's not in the States, he's in Canada, and he is the one that did the covers and everything for this. He did an amazing job. I highly recommend him. And we'll move on to the front of the machine. I did put some new headlights in it. These are GE sealed beam bulbs, just like the factory ones. I did actually buy, they're called like PAR or PAR 36 bulbs or LEDs, and I'll definitely be the first to admit I don't like the idea of LED bulbs. I just never have like the look of them on garden tractors, but recently I saw them, and to me they look like almost identical to the original style bulb. So I thought, you know, I'll just try them. I'm really curious, so I bought them just to compare. And if you look in my threads, you'll see that I took a bunch of pictures of them next to some the original style to compare. But the output was definitely better for sure. They weren't blindingly bright, but they were definitely brighter. What I didn't like though was that they had a whitish background that you'd see in the daylight, and to me that I didn't like that. I liked the original look. It almost looked like, it reminded me of the girl's eyes in the movie The Ring, if you've seen that movie. And I don't know, just to me on this, I decided to go with the original bulb, so I got these GEs and put them in. And they do the job. I took this out last night, and you can still see in front of you. I mean, it works. If I was only operating the machine at night or something, you know, then in really dark areas, but that's not the case, you know, for me in the winter months, sometimes in snow, but around the yard, but that's not going to be a problem. And definitely the original look is what I wanted to go with, so that's why I put the original style back in. But definitely no, you know, not putting down the PAR 36 bulbs. I know a lot of guys run them, and that's totally fine too. This is just personal preference for myself, and so definitely not putting them down by any means. Let's see here. I'll pop the hood and show you a couple other things that I've done under there. And this lower radiator hose was swelled. It was leaking, so I do have a flex hose on there. It's working good, but I would ideally like to replace that with the factory original style. Remember, Diesel Nut on GT Talk listed a bunch of model numbers for other machines that use the same engine family, so that was very helpful to him. Thank you for that. So I just need to go through parts lists and see if I can find a hose that will hopefully maybe be the original style. And also Stu had sent me a link to to a whole bunch of part numbers for hoses that have specs and everything too. So I'll see if I can match up to the original hose, see if I can't find something that'll work. But in the meantime, this setup's working, it's not leaking, so that's good. And just been doing normal maintenance, air filter, oil change, things like that. And man, I do love this machine. And again, this is going to be a video series. That right now I'm just doing some updates. The next video I'm gonna do of what's it like to operate video, and one for the loader, and it'll just be an ongoing series for sure. Well, thanks for checking it out, and be sure to check out the next video.